A luminous display towers for what must be miles above the ground level. A complex interplay of remembrance and commerce. A holographic canvas bathed in ethereal light flickers with images and names, testament to those who once navigated the crowded streets of this city. The memorial wall morphs, a chameleon of emotion, projecting the joys and sorrows of lives now but faint echoes. Yet, it is a divided tribute. Remembrance intertwined with the relentless barrage of advertisements. A glaring and abrupt reminder of corporate dominance.
I'm sitting on a pair of some steps. It's fairly nearby. The rain's coming down and I don't seem to pay any attention to it. I'm watching the names as they are being interspersed with those ads. Sometimes they're bigger than others. Sometimes you have to get really close to see them. I can see the one I want to see whenever it's its turn to pop up.
Do you want to tell us which one it is that you're here to see?
I don't know.
It's okay if you don't want to. Why are you here, though?
There's two reasons. One is just to remember what was lost, but the other is a little bit of motivation. I stand up and I start walking to get closer.
You left the hospital before you were discharged, right?
Oh yeah. As soon as I woke up, as soon as I was able to stand up straight, which took a minute, still taking a minute, I found my way outside. They don't really care anyway. They're doing their job. They're patching you up. They're not gonna stop you. My head is pounding. I'm standing 6 feet away now. Just waiting for the name to show up again. There it is. And I miss her all over again.
Did she pay for the vocal piece?
Yeah, she, well, not for me, but yeah, she'd paid for it. I continue the subscription, though. You know, it's interesting. When you lose somebody, you start to forget things. You forget their face a little bit. It blurs the exact color of their hair. The voice is really interesting because you lose something. And I hear And it's not her. And it is. And I hate that.
Does it bother you to know she's not talking to you in the recording?
No. Why would she? It's not her fault. I try not to let myself go down those roads. What ifs? Would she still be here, or could we have been something? It doesn't serve anything. I always start a little bit. You can't block everything out. But it's pretty easy to push it all away. Well, not while I'm right here, though. It's like getting close to a door, and you can hear everything on the other side. I step away from the memorial. I just walk backwards a little bit, probably another 4 to 5 feet, hoping I don't bump into anybody, but I'm not really looking around. It's good to look at the other names. It's a good way to keep from feeling so alone with loss.
Do you feel alone with this loss in particular?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I lost 2 people because of her.
Because?
It's my fault.
And yet, do you blame her?
I don't know. I don't want to.
And yet,
I'm angry.
why are you
All
here,
right.
Bob?
I like to make myself feel worse sometimes.
I think some of us can relate to that. Why?
I find that the more that I try and keep myself from feeling too much, the more it builds up. I don't want it to come out in any sort of... I don't want it to come out wrong towards somebody. It almost did earlier.
In an uncontrolled environment, you mean?
Yeah,
Like to stay in control, do you, Bob?
I am in control. That's why I'm here. I chose to come here. I chose to feel this right now. I'll choose to put it away in just a little bit. Just not yet.
Kind of like releasing a little bit of the pressure valve, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
closing it back off again.
Yeah, but this is opening it up all the way. It's always good when it rains. No one can see the tears. I'll only let a few out anyway, but still. Why do people die?
Why do people live?
I asked first. You know, there's this health plan that they have. It's not affordable. It essentially puts you on ice. I can't imagine a worse fate than just continuing on. But I hate that people die.
Do you hate that people die, or do you hate feeling left behind?
I don't think there's a difference.
Sure there is.
No, see, everybody dies alone. It's just life. It's not a new concept. It's just true. You can't follow somebody. You can't. And that's a good thing. You need that. That wall, that barrier. Otherwise, I might be on the wall next to her. You know what? I'm not sure the process, but I'm going to make sure my name doesn't go up on any walls. I don't think it's worth being remembered.
Why do you think that, Bob?
I don't know any but one name on here. Imagine how many of these people are just a subscription. Not even getting any visitors, you know. Something that somebody can do and go, well, this is how I remember them, which I guess is fair, but even when people do leave others behind, just doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get visited. And I've got nobody. Not really. Just a waste of space. Hell, they can put more ads in that space.
What about what you said earlier about the names next to hers making you feel less alone in your sorrow and suffering? Who's to say you wouldn't be that for someone else?
I don't want to think about this logically.
Okay.
Right now, I want to be a hypocrite.
Okay.
And I'm very aware of that. But that's the thing about losing somebody. No one can tell you shit about how you're supposed to feel. And it's all okay. I'm gonna turn around now.
Where are you going next?
I want to go home.
Are you going to let anyone know where you are? Or are you just going to go home?
I'll let Galen know.
And
I
how do
don't
you
think
let him
he'd
know?
be. Oh, I'll get a message to him.
Okay. Text or vid?
Yeah. Just a simple, I'm heading home.
Okay.
Just in text. I don't think he'd be too upset, but I don't want to waste his time if he's going to swing by that hospital to see me or anything. I don't really think he will. Actually, my head still hurts. I'm trying to remember if they were in the room at any point.
If who was in the room?
My partner.
I'm afraid I can't help you with that.
It's not a big deal.
Do you think Galen would visit you here on the wall?
I don't know what to say to that.
You don't have to say anything. One more question. This name that you're visiting, if they were still with us, would they visit you?
Yeah. Yeah, they would. It'd be annoying how often they'd show up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home now.
Go home, Bob. Selma, where are you?
Right now, I think I'm probably heading over to the station.
You're going to meet up with the other two, right?
Yep. I think I've got some things to discuss. Yeah, my talk last night with Bill. That was pretty eye-opening. I think I maybe got 2 hours of sleep, so nothing too restful, unfortunately. But
Is that
hey,
normal
that's why
for
we've
you?
got coffee. What's that?
Is that normal for you? About 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I mean, I've tried all the different ways to, get more sleep. Don't look at a screen. Don't have coffee, but that's impossible. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to be able to give up my coffee at 3 a.m., especially not on the heels of something like this. I just don't think I'm going to be getting any sleep. It's a wonder I even managed to close my eyes.
Did you dream?
I did, actually. It was, it's interesting. There was a man running down the street, but his face was covered, so I couldn't see his face. And I kept yelling, hey, hey, and I thought like he had stolen something, but when he turned back to look at me, it was the same face of the android that we had apprehended. And I thought, I should just let him run. And I don't know why. Stupid, but I thought I should just let him go. When I woke up, it was like, well, stress dream. But yeah, it was just real weird. I felt like I couldn't do my job right. I still feel like that right now. I'm hoping that no one can really pin that, but I'm feeling pretty rough, especially with Bob in the hospital. I'm worried about him. Don't really know him too well, but I'm still feeling like he may yet prove to be a friend.
Do you regret what happened with the replicant? Now that you're awake?
No, I don't, because he hurt Bob. Anyone that's going to go after somebody. I mean, anyone who is trying to destroy something, or much less a bomb, but someone whose aim is to hurt people. No, I don't regret that. I wish it had gone differently, but I don't regret what had happened. It was necessary.
How would you prefer it have gone down?
I just don't like shooting people. And it's still hard looking at a replicant and not seeing somebody. It's hard. Even after all this time, it's still hard. You know, I'll do it, but I think that was another reason why I hesitated. Was that it still looks like a person. Still walks like a person, still moves like a person. It'll trick you.
What's a person to you?
Still tricks me. You know, that's a great question. I feel like that's some sort of, that's a philosophy, but,
You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
sure. I mean, that's a big one, isn't it? What is a person? What is a person? Maybe I should think about that with my coffee. I think that's a question I've asked myself a lot these days.
I think
You know,
that's
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think that's the question you're asking yourself now as you sip your coffee and your coworkers
Yeah.
enter into the scene. Thank you for answering me.
Thank you.
Galen and Skiff. Did you two sleep at all?
I imagine that I would have probably gone back to my apartment after meeting with Skiff. And I would have checked messages and that kind of thing. But I don't imagine that I would have slept very well.
Okay. What about you, Skiff?
What time is it?
It's about 3 in the morning. 3 or 4 in the morning. It's only slept a couple hours, I believe. So it might actually be 5. So it was probably around 3 when Bob left the hospital.
Okay.
And I think it was about 2 in the morning, and I could be slightly wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was around 2 in the morning when Selma went to get food and talked to Bill. So it's probably been a couple hours since then.
Okay. What time does the shift usually start?
Bob's or yours?
Mine.
Ooh, that's a good question. What time do you normally work? What hours do you normally work? I feel like you're pretty...
Seems like a night job.
Yeah.
You know, probably started like whenever shift changes, like 5 p.m.
Okay.
and then go until like midnight 1. Something like that normally.
Okay. So is this technically your off time?
Yeah.
Okay.
But with all the events that happen, I wouldn't even have tried to lay down and get any sleep. I would just mull the events of the day over my head.
Do you regret anything?
No, not really. We did the best we could with what we had. So, what are we doing here?
I believe you're meeting up with Selma. She has some things to tell you. But before we go into that... Galen, did you say you slept?
Maybe a little bit.
Did you dream?
Yes.
What did you dream about? Do you remember?
I dreamt of a shooting that happened. Not this one. It was the day that I lost my partner. the scenes were different. She was here. She was now. Her and Bob were in the same position, but not. So you can't just trade partners. People aren't interchangeable.
Are you resentful about it?
I'm resentful and I'm angry. I should have done more.
Would it have changed anything?
Could have.
Could it have made it worse?
Maybe. Action is better than inaction, though.
Maybe. Choosing not to act sometimes is better, in my opinion. But to each their own.
Well, now Bob got hurt. And we have no answers.
You might.
No replicant.
Elma did say she had to talk to you about something.
Still don't trust her.
Why not?
She hesitated. She says that she's killed retired 9 replicants.
You don't believe her?
No.
Did you look up her service record?
Not yet. But if we're going to be working together, I need to know who I'm dealing with.
Take it away.
Did someone tell us why she wanted us down here?
Good question.
I think I would have said, you know, I need to meet at HQ. There's definitely some things I'd like to discuss. And ask, actually. Listen, I know it's late, y'all. I know. I haven't been sleeping. In fact, I've been spending all night looking up information on what was in that bomb, and I believe it's some kind of cipher. I believe it's some kind of code, some kind of language.
In a bomb?
In the bomb, yeah. That's what I believe this replicant was trying to destroy. I think the perp was looking at it as something that we should not have seen, but that was information that I felt was very pertinent to this case, and so I couldn't sleep, so I thought I'd call you guys here and ask how you felt about maybe getting some some outside help with this case.
Let's be precise about this. Where did you find this code, or?
Well, I managed to take a look at the bomb I managed to take a look inside. And that was what got me staying up late, running it through, you know, several parts of the terminal. I'm not familiar with it. I couldn't identify the pattern. In fact, I brought it here with me if you want to see it.
Yeah, let me take a look at it.
Yeah, let me get the paper here. Good Lord. Okay.
So to clarify, the information that Selma's talking about is the information that the bomb was potentially trying to remove, hide, get rid of. It's not necessarily that this information was coded into the bomb itself, but more so the bomb was trying to destroy this piece of evidence, is her guess.
That's true.
And now I'm holding the piece of evidence in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I made hard copies.
It looks like a string of characters that you can't really decipher. It seems a bit random. Hiragana, mostly, if you're familiar with Japanese characters.
Is there any sort of like markings on this? Since it was in the evidence room, it should be marked as evidence.
So she made a copy. Now, question, did you make a physical copy or did you write everything down by hand, Selma?
No, I printed it out.
Oh, okay.
I think there was too much to write out by hand, and my hand would have cramped by the end.
Yep, okay. So then I think you see a, nothing else is marked. It's not in handwriting. It looks like it was printed out. And it was printed out using the LAPD's, like, paper. So it is from inside the office. It is very strange for there to be... If it is a cipher, it's very strange for it to be on your own LAPD documentation. It feels like, you know, this should be accessible to everybody within the LAPD. So I think that would strike you as very odd.
Well, if it's in evidence, that means it's attached to a case. What case is it attached to?
It is not attached to a case.
So it was just laying there on its own in evidence?
I don't know if it was on its own, but this is all, you're looking at the paper. So there's no file name or anything attached to it, no case name attached to this piece of paper. As for what else is around, that I can't tell you because I don't know if anybody looked. All I know is Selma grabbed this specific piece of evidence.
Where'd you find this, Selma?
In the evidence room? This was in the bomb. It was near the bomb. It was just kind of like folded up and yeah,
it was folded up near the bomb.
It was, I believe it was like inside this making. I don't know. It just looked like it was something that was going first, you know, whatever's going to be in that blast radius. This was right in it. I mean, it was close to.
Did you pull it out of a case file?
I did not.
Selma, you talked to dispatch. They looked through the camera to find the replicant on the camera. Maybe we can have a look at that video and see any details we may have missed during the time.
That is an excellent idea. You know what? Do y'all have clearance for security downstairs, or maybe, I don't know. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Y'all want to go do that now? I mean, I've got coffee. If y'all want some extra, I don't know. Galen, do you drink coffee? I'm really not sure.
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be down to look at that. I think that would really help.
While you guys are doing that, I'm gonna take this over to the computer jockeys and see what if any case file this popped out of.
Okay.
If there's any case that dealt with ciphers and
yeah, please.
What else
I mean, I've been racking my brain all night. I'm just not sure.
All right, I'll let you know if I find anything.
All right. Good luck, Skiff. Galen, do you want to head downstairs with me?
Bob says he's on his way home. This was a while ago now, though.
I'm glad to hear it.
What'd you say?
I said I'm glad to hear it.
No, before that.
Did you want to head down and see if we could get into the security footage?
Yeah, might be able to talk our way into it, even if we don't have clearance.
I'm not sure. Narrator, do we have clearance to the
Yes.
footage? Yeah?
Yep.
All right, so I guess
I would
we could just
imagine that there's nothing that
down
you
there.
don't have clearance to at this point, since you're now
Alright.
part of the new special unit.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna start making my way towards the stairs, because I think it's just a couple floors down from where we are right now. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay.
You're reviewing the visual footage of who got
Right.
into the room, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So I believe we're going to go ahead and roll observation.
Okay.
And one of you can roll, whichever one has
Alright.
the best, if you like.
Probably gonna be you, Selma.
All right. Let me find. There we are. All right. Observation. Here we go. Can I push that, actually?
Yeah, of
Or
course.
does that... All right, let's try. See what happens. Wait, I'm not sure what I just did.
So you can choose to push one or both of those. So basically you hit the push button and then like a little option and matrix kind of comes up. This
Okay.
push matrix, and you can choose either just the first one, which is one dice
Okay.
reroll, or you can do both of them.
Okay. Oh, all right. Here we go. I think that's something.
Perfect. Yep, that's a success.
So
Okay.
you re-rolled both.
Did I? Yeah, I
You
think.
Yeah.
did. Yep.
Okay,
That's-
okay, cool.
2 stress, right?
Nope, just the one stress.
Oh,
Nope,
okay.
just the one. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically,
All
the
right.
way that it works is that replicants get the opportunity to roll twice, but because we want to hide who's what, everybody gets to roll the 2 times for just the 1 stress.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, I'm taking a look at the terminal here. Just gonna try and pull up.
Yep.
See if I can find.
So, what time are you watching from?
That's a great question. I feel like if I can scrub through this video, then I should be able to kind of, look and see if there's a naked person.
Yep.
Someone who either disrobed in there or disrobed and then went in there. But my goal is to find that information, find the footage first.
Okay.
And then kind of scrub through and see if I can just find a naked. I mean, that's what would stand out to me the most. So I look through the day. I'll start at the beginning of that day.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, you do succeed. So I think you start at the
Okay.
beginning of the day, and
Okay.
what you see is you don't necessarily see a naked individual right away, but you do recognize the blonde individual, Renzo look-alike, or I mean replicant, so exact alike, walking in, fully just walking in as if they belong here or work here. They're not naked yet, but when they are basically down in the morgue section, I think in order to not get caught, after watching for a couple of minutes, you see he disrobes and lays down on the slab, and the other one gets up and walks in and goes into the other room. So they do a kind of like a switcheroo. So the 2 replicants that were laying on the slab were never really dead to begin with, which you know now anyway, because they shot them. And I don't know if your partner actually shared that with you, but they do a little switcheroo, and the one gets up and then heads immediately towards the warehouse or that kind of like records section. Mildred is on her way to the vending machine when he grabs her and breaks her neck. He grabs her by the mouth first to stop her from calling out and making any sound, and then he very quickly breaks her neck. And I think you might notice that he doesn't immediately just let her fall to the ground. He slowly lowers her to the ground, and it might strike you as not just an attempt to keep things quiet, but potentially out of compassion. And then he gets up and heads into the storage room.
We're both here watching this, right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Her success counts for the both of you.
Right. All right, so this next part, excuse me. This next part is what we're really gonna have to be focusing on here. I still can't make out when or where that information would have been, but if I'm looking at this correctly, it looks like this bomb was in here before they entered, or
Yes, that's what that would imply. Yep.
All right.
Because he's naked when he walks into the room.
Okay. Yep.
So that would imply that everything has been put in there ahead of time.
I think.
How far back does the video footage go?
She said she was looking at today. So it definitely didn't happen that day by the person who looks like Renzo.
I'm gonna ask Selma, like, when does this footage start?
This is just the beginning of the day.
The bomb was there for the entire day?
If that's what my eyes are telling me, I guess it was there the whole day. But I mean, for all I know, Galen, this could have been here weeks, months. This was premeditated, no doubt. I mean, not just one, but 3. How does someone just walk like that into this den of people that are so clearly ready to dispose of them?
When was the last attempt for somebody to get into the evidence room before this?
That's a great question.
That is a great question. Let's
maybe
go
we can
ahead
see.
and roll another observation for me.
All right, let me see if maybe I can find
Because this
something.
is different info.
I think I could probably find something
That's
here.
a crit.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, now you can ask for something specific when you crit. So you can suggest maybe you want more info, or you can narratively kind of take over a little bit. Obviously, I'll provide you with the correct information, but do you have a narrative suggestion, or would you like me to just tell you what happens?
Well, I'm looking for the truth. And from this I would assume that this goes much deeper. So I don't have any real way of explaining that, but I'm just hoping to find more of that cipher, that language, like whatever can lead me there that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. And you're watching the camera footage to see who goes into the room, right? And how far are you scanning back? You rolled a crit,
Well,
so I can tell you that it'll take you some time, but you do
Sure.
scan back a little bit further.
Sure.
And I think I have a question for you.
Yeah?
Have you listened to your vid voicemail stuff yet?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I completely forgot about it.
Nope, that's okay. Then I don't know if this would... For some reason, this strikes you as odd because you got a crit, but I don't know why, so you're going to have to tell me why.
Okay.
You do see... Actually, I can tell you why. You do see Sawyer
Oh,
walking in probably about a week ago, and he is looking around. He looks at the cameras, he glances around, he's got something under his oversized trench coat that you recognize so very well, and then he heads into the storage room. He uses his own badge, and you can Galen confirms that by looking up the access entry points. It was about a week ago, but other than that, you're both, one of you's looking at video, the other one's looking at keycard access, and you can confirm that everything seems to be normal. The only people that have been accessing this are staff. The only time it wasn't accessed by staff was when he walked in naked and the material was already in there.
I immediately pull out my voicemail and I take a listen.
Ooh, okay.
Because as I'm watching this footage of him.
Okay. Quick question, actually. When's the last time you spoke? I know it was a while, but do we know how long?
I mean, how long since I didn't, I filed the report. It's felt maybe a lot longer than it has been. Months maybe. It's been a while.
I think it's, well, I mean, since the incident happened, I think it's been about a year, but I don't know when you spoke last. It's been a while, huh?
Yeah, realistically, I mean, it's we haven't been on good terms. So I'd say probably 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah, just listening to this, I feel like.
Hey, Sal. Hi, Selma. Seems like I caught you at a bad time because you're not picking up, but you know that already because you're listening to this message, and yeah, look, I'd start this over if I could, but I can't, so I'm just gonna push through. I'm working on the predictive model, the algorithm, and I've made a couple breakthroughs, but I'm gonna stop wasting your time and just cut to the chase. I know that you're gonna have questions, but I can't answer any of them right now, not on this line, so focus up. I need you to look into a name for me. The name is Avari Trix. That is Avari, A-V-A-R-I, Trix, T-R-I-X-S. Previously listed as a vendor for Tyrell. Please don't ask me what they were vending. That's what I'm hoping you might figure out. If you're gonna ask why I don't do this myself, the short answer is I can't get to the office right now because I'm out in the field following up on another lead. Side note, please don't ask me why I'm in the field. Whatever you scrape on Avari, we will swap notes later via something more secure. You gotta trust me when I say this is important. LT asks, I'm hungover or I'm buried under a stack of data disks. I do not need a wellness check. Am I well? Check. I'm very well. Alright, that's my cue. I gotta go. Wish me luck.
What? Algorithm? What the hell is he talking about?
Okay, so
Algorithm.
I can answer some of these questions, but the first question that I feel like we need answered is, was this played out loud or for your ears only?
Oh no, I played this for me and Galen.
Okay, wonderful. There you are, Galen. That's the answer to that. As
Do
far as
I
the
know this voice?
Yes, this is the voice of Sawyer. Well, it's up to you. I'll let you decide. He's an analyst with the department. And actually,
I'll make a connections roll. How's
yeah,
that?
let's do that. Make a connections roll. But I will explain the algorithm a little bit because you would be aware of this, Selma. So when the blackout happened last year, you lost all your data. And Sawyer wanted to be in the Blade Runner unit, but he joined because he's incredibly technically skilled as an analyst, and he's rebuilding the database for you. And what he's been working on, as well as rebuilding the database, is an algorithm that will take the information and basically help you identify a replicant on the fly. And certain percentage chance of being accurate, right? He's trying to build it with accuracy. So he's been dealing very heavily with old cases, dealing with replicants, things like that. But he essentially kind of holed himself off for a long time. I mean, obviously you guys had your falling out, but, you know, after the blackout, he kind of just drowned himself in work and trying to get this algorithm as accurately as possible. Probably because of the incident. I think he blamed himself for what happened, and he just didn't want to put anybody's life in jeopardy ever again. So he kind of really worked hard on this algorithm. So it's very strange for him to be out in the field, first of all. That is super bizarre. It's also really bizarre for him not to check in or for him to ask you to lie to the superior. That's never really been his behavior before. You know, he's pretty dedicated to his job, but his job is like coding. I think it would also, in this moment, hit you that he's on the same level of skill as Bill. So if you wanted to ask him to look into something, you potentially could, but it's awkward, you know, because you have that history. So, any other questions I can answer for you guys?
I want to know what he was doing in the building in this instance. But that's
that sounded like
I'm gonna
Sawyer.
have to ask myself. It was Sawyer. I got that a couple nights ago, one night ago.
And just to
Couple hours
clarify,
ago.
A couple hours ago.
just to clarify, that is the person that I see their badge entering the building.
When you say that person with their badge entering the building, do you mean the Renzo copy entering the building? Or...
Well, I am checking the records if Selma's checking the video.
Yep, you were checking the records. Selma was checking the video. He did swipe his own card to get into the warehouse or the storage room in the morgue level.
Sawyer did.
Sawyer did, yep. That day, also, I imagine if she says this is weird, that sounds like Sawyer, then I'm going to assume that you go and you check any other time he logged in. And I think probably about 3 weeks ago, you would notice he stops clocking in for work regularly. He starts working remote, which is very unlike Sawyer. And that would have been about 3 weeks ago when he started doing that.
I'm looking at Selma and trying to judge her reaction from the video.
Ooh. Manipulation roll. Just because we're doing this so that people can hide if they want to.
I assume Selma's making the roll,
Selma
right?
is going to make the roll, yep.
The manipulation roll? Okay.
Okay. You can push if you'd like to, but essentially what this means is that if he asks you how you're reacting, you're going to tell him the truth.
Right.
Or he gets to know if you're lying or not. So you can lie if you want to, but...
Okay. I don't think that he is well. Anyone that says, oh, you don't need to perform a wellness check. We all know how that goes.
You're saying this out loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of just saying it to the screen like, well, no, I don't think a well person would do this.
No, I don't think that they would. You know this Sawyer really well.
I felt like I wanted to. He impressed me. And You know, he was, I think he was an analyst, and he kind of got wrapped up, and he said, "Oh, really want to be a part of this unit," and we had an assignment together, and it ended up not working out very well for him, and I had to write that in my report, and he did not like it. So we were at odds. And for me, that was really difficult to reason and reckon with. Because it's, anybody that doesn't want me to tell it how it is, I'm going to have a problem with that. So I don't know if I'd trust him as much as I did. But there was something in his voice that made me think he's found something. I don't know what it is, but we haven't spoken in months.
Selma,
now
I
I
got
guess I'm
records
worried for
here. Doesn't look good.
No, it does not.
We gotta follow up with this Sawyer.
Yeah, we do.
It's looking a whole lot like our suspect right now for that bomb.
I won't lie, that makes me apprehensive. I'm worried. He's smart. He's a smart person. But I'm not sure how to go about this, as I haven't spoken with him in a long time, so...
Got any other sort of relationship with this person that we should know about? Selma, if they did it, this is gonna hit you hard. You know that, right?
I do. I'm not sure.
The sooner we know, the better.
The sooner we know, the better. I want to trust him, but I also don't know. I haven't. Maybe I wasn't there for him. Maybe I should have done more there for him. Sawyer's like laying in a nice, warm, it's like a blanket, you know? But he always had something going on. He always had some kind of edge. But he was a very comforting friend. And I felt maybe like there were needles in there that I should have been worried about, like the blanket. I should have just been like, oh, no, that's not quite as safe a harbor. I don't know why I'm telling you this, Galen. I mean, no, actually, I should. I should tell you, because I feel like you also understand people. You're looking to understand people. I think we should approach this as a proper squad, as a proper unit. Address everything, write down as much as we possibly can. And if we're gonna do this, if we're going to look at this as some kind of interrogation, I don't need to know that I can trust you. I need you to trust me. Because that's, I think, where we were at odds. So I'm just going to do everything in my power to do this right. By the book. But it's going to hurt. You're right, it's going to hurt.
So that's a yes, then.
That's a yes.
I walk over to the to the people in the LAPD who are responsible for keeping the records, wherever that may be, and I kind of address however many people are there. I'm not sure if it's like a cubicle, if it's one person or whatever. But I walk up to him with this piece of paper in my hand. Since there's a copy, don't have to worry about, chain of command or anything. I just put it on someone's desk and I go, is there any way you can tell me where that came from? What case file?
Ooh, okay. So go ahead and roll for tech or observation. But I think it's more a tech roll, to be honest.
Let's see. More of a tech roll, huh?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Ooh,
Nice, okay.
one success. I'll take it.
Okay, so I think... Actually, who are you asking, by the way? Do you know these people? Do you talk to them often? Like, is there somebody that is your go-to person? No. Just
not.
okay.
I don't know them well enough. It's yeah, this is not my department, so
Just anybody
I
in
talk to them
records.
when I
Okay.
have to.
Okay. So you're dealing with, let's say, it's a very petite young woman. Her hair is very, very tightly pulled back into a low ponytail. She wears a blazer. It's probably got a ketchup stain on it, to be honest with you. She seems to be the type that just eats at her desk and can't help but make a mess. And she's probably got pieces of paper all over the place, actually, and she has to fumble around as she's looking. But you come over and you ask her, and it takes her a second to realize you're talking to her. And then you say, can you tell me what case file this belongs to? And she looks at it and... well, this seems to be an internal memo, so there's no case number attached to it. Where did you get it?
You heard about the kerfuffle that happened down in the evidence room, right?
I did, yes. Oh,
There.
in the evidence room. In the morgue evidence room? Storage?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. And I go ahead and I start looking it up in the system as best I can, but you can tell I don't really know what to input because the only thing on the sheet is this weird cipher or language.
While she's typing, I
Yeah.
ask her,
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean by internal memo?
Well, I mean, I would guess it's an internal memo. It's on our paper, right? Like it's got our logo on it.
It's a copy of the actual evidence. That's why it's on our paper.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
I'm just wondering if you can look up any cases that have a history with ciphers or puzzles or
any cases. Okay, yeah, I
something
can do
like that.
Okay. How about I look up any cases that have a relevancy with ciphers, but particularly, potentially, any of these characters listed in this memo here, or this piece of evidence?
That'd be great. What's your name again?
Natalie.
Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
Skiff. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Skiff. This will take me probably a little bit of time. Can you come back in an hour? I'll skip lunch.
What's your favorite kind of pie?
Apple.
All right.
Why?
You put a rush on this? I got best apple pie. I'll bring you a slice.
Oh, well, thank you. I trust me, I'm going to skip lunch for it. Don't worry. If it's related to what happened downstairs, I know it's important.
Thank you. I'll be back. Do you have an ETA? How long?
Probably about an hour.
All right. Natalie, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Natalie.
No problem, officer.
And I turn around to leave, and I think maybe someone's there, perhaps?
Oh, yes. I hope so.
Detective Kalispell. Hey, detective.
Wait, let me hide myself. Where am I? Okay, there we go.
Detective, There you
Hey.
are.
What?
They told me that y'all split. I guess the Galen is and your partner are heading towards records of some sort. I don't know. They said you were coming down this way. I'm not quite sure how far behind I am at this point.
Honestly, with what you went through, I don't think you need to worry about it right now. I think you just need to rest, probably, yeah?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. They checked me out, top to bottom.
So just for a recap for everybody, and it's fine if you want to lie, but we did say that you had a concussion, but also that this replicant cracked your skull and they actually had to do surgery to put your skull back together. So you can say that you're okay, and I mean you could be for all I know. And I don't know if you're taking anything for the pain, but that is the situation, just so the audience knows. Okay.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm very not doing all right. I mean, I'm standing, and I like my words aren't slurring. I think I'm a little slower. You definitely notice that, and I'll wince every now and then.
Well, I found some time on my hands. I got about an hour before Natalie over there in records is done looking up this set of symbols that Selma found. You want to go get some pie?
Bob gets nauseous. I don't know if you notice it, but he gets nauseous at the sound of it, but he goes, yeah, it sounds good. Let's go get some pie.
Let me ask you, do you think he would notice?
Yeah, I think you noticed that.
Okay.
So with a concussion, you notice that it depends actually. You might need to roll for it. I'm not sure how much you would be looking him up and down.
Sure. I will. I'm more than happy to roll insight. If
Yes,
that's cool
let's
with
do
you.
it.
Crit.
Oh, all right. So you, I would say that you'd absolutely know that I have a concussion. My eyes aren't dilating the way they need to be. You can, there's a bandage, right here. There's a clear spot that is being covered up from where I got hit. I am standing upright. I'm not going back and forth, but you can see that my eyes are kind of squinting at times. So yeah, I mean, with that information, especially with the nausea, I mean, you know I have a concussion.
After I suggest pie, and you say, yeah, let's go get some, I just take a beat to notice your demeanor, and I go, why don't I have pie? And you have some coffee.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that sounds fine. Well, after you,
Okay.
So,
and I make my way toward the main entrance of the LAPD to walk down the street.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry, but I'm super curious about this pie. Were you lying or telling the truth? Is it the best pie you've ever had, or is it just decent, or what's the deal with the pie?
It's very good pie, and it's because I've worked here for 7+ years.
Yeah.
And you kind of get to know the area.
Yeah,
And you know
of
where
course.
the best burger is, where the best pie is, where the best fries are, blah, blah, blah. So I got a place. It's not the best in town, but it's damn good.
Okay. Do you have a name for it, or should I name it?
Lil's.
Lil's?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. And does somebody named Lil actually run it, or is it run by somebody else?
No, there's no Lil.
Okay.
Lil is actually, it's short for the Little Red Diner.
Oh
But everybody
my
just calls it
god.
Lil's.
Okay, that's cute. Okay. Little Red Diner. All right. And so I assume by diner they offer more than just pie. So it's not like you're going to a bakery or a cake place or something like that. It's a diner that happens to have diner
it's
pie.
very like Nighthawks at the diner kind of a place.
Yeah, like that typical kind of I want to say like Southern American. I mean, it's an American thing, but man, in the South, if you go to a diner, they have got the best fucking pie. So we're gonna say it's something like that. Okay.
I think as we're walking, I'd be a little bit behind you, Skiff. I'm just not too far behind. I'm close enough. I'd be quiet for a minute. You'd hear me take a few steadying breaths before I say, so what all have you found so far? I mean, I only caught the tail end of what you were saying, mostly the pie, but something case related or?
Well, nothing yet, but so apparently somewhere in the vicinity of the bomb device, Selma found a piece of paper that was folded up, and it had some symbols on it, like it's a puzzle, like I don't know, you know those jumbles that you see in the news feeds, you can rearrange. It's like that, but with symbols, like a word search or something like that. I'm not sure, but I'm trying to figure out where it came from, and those two actually went down to where they keep the vids for our camera feeds here. They're going over the feeds once again to see if they can find out where these reps came from and what they were doing here.
Right, okay. All right. I don't know if I know of any cases personally that I've heard about with ciphers or puzzles or anything else like that. So I'm wondering,
it's pretty unusual.
I was gonna say, how old do you think that would be? I mean, that sounds...
No idea, man. I just had a copy of a copy.
Right. I did want to say that when we were down in the morgue, not that you need the affirmation or anything, but taking those two out, they were breathing on that slab. I was trying to get that information across, but I mean, you had it in hand. It's good to see.
You're in this job long enough, you know, when fellow officers in a situation that they it's in the eyes, it's in the demeanor. I could see that what you were thinking was kind of what I started thinking, and yeah, fortunate that we didn't have to say anything to communicate our intentions to each other.
Yeah, that's different for me. Galen, I mean, he's quick. He's got eyes on, so our working relationship has always been that. He seems to understand what I'm trying to do or what I'm thinking about. So I'm just glad it happened that way.
Well, Galen and I had the opportunity to have a little sit-down, little chat, and I'll tell him the same thing I told you, or reverse that. I'll tell you the same thing I told him. First of all, you saw us in the office, me and Whitaker. We're trying to get reassigned. Tell you that straight up. We did not, neither of us felt comfortable working with you guys.
Wait, whoa. Reassign? Working with us? What, before?
After it came down that we were all going to be grouped up together, we're going to be in pods of 4 rather than 2.
Wait, what? When did this happen? I didn't hear anything about. Oh, what?
Weren't you in the office?
No, I didn't. I had no idea that there was that we were
I
working
thought you
together.
were there the whole time.
I'd walked out.
Either way, you deserve to know this. We tried to
Okay.
get reassigned once we found out that we were going to be grouped up with you and Galen. We do
I mean,
things
you did-
differently. It's no real offense meant. It's just thought we might work better with another team. That said, I told Galen, telling you, we're partners now. That means something to me. I have your back. As long as you have mine.
Oh yeah. One, I'm not even if you decide to get reassigned, I'm not gonna get upset about it. But yeah, I mean, you can talk to Galen, but I got your back. There's no running off. There's no. I mean, I don't know you, but I know you're a detective. You're a cop. You're obviously still doing it, and you've been doing it for a while. So I'm trusting a level of expertise, just as much as you can trust mine. I don't know what our working relationship is going to be like. Nothing's perfect, but I mean, I think as long as we have the same goal, there's not going to be a problem. There are replicants in the city. They are broken tools. It is our job to make sure they do not hurt anybody. As much as we can. As much as we can. But I don't want to see you getting yourself hurt. I don't want to see Galen or Selma seeing themselves get hurt. I'm not going to make a choice between getting the perp and you guys getting hurt. But these replicants, I don't quite know what to make of them yet. They set off a bomb.
They're desperate, scared. They have every right to be.
Yeah. But is it desperation? Is it fear? What is that to them? Is it just a cascading sort of switches that goes through in their mind that says, hey, you're in this situation, this is what you're supposed to do now?
Sounds like you just described a brain. Any brain.
Yeah, I suppose. But they didn't come about it naturally. And they're more than what we are. They're fiddled with. They're altered.
Well, as long as we have that out of the way. Say we go get a pie, get you some coffee, figure out what the fuck is going on. Because I have a real bad feeling that this is gonna get complex. I feel like I'm Alice peeking through the keyhole. Wonderland's on the other side. I don't like it.
How do you want to approach this with with what I'm assuming we're going to be telling, we have to report directly to
Holden.
Holden, right? So, but I don't know. What do you think, Galen? I'd like to report it to Holden, and we should also let Skiff and Bob. Should also make them aware.
Despite the fact that you and Skiff tried to get reassigned, you are my partner now. And so is Skiff.
Right.
Partners need to look out for each other. First thing we need to do is we need to talk to Skiff. And when Bob wakes up, we should have a conversation with Bob too. Then we report it.
Okay.
And I gotta be honest with you, I'm a little iffy on the reporting thing.
Reporting to Holden?
Well, I mean reporting the whole Sawyer situation to Holden just yet. Let's find out what's going on first.
Well, what's making you hesitant about it? If I can ask.
Your relationship with Sawyer isn't going to go over very well.
That's true, but it also is, frankly, not my responsibility. There. He's my friend, but he screwed up.
This could be a lot worse than screwed up, you know that.
Oh, this situation is much deeper than that. I'll give you that. I'm just talking about the report. He didn't like that very much, and
just going off of gut instincts here, Selma. Sawyer is a replicant sympathizer.
I don't think you're wrong, but I also think Holden needs to know.
Let's just make sure first.
Yeah. Let's discuss this with Skiff. I think he's still probably talking to records right now. Can I, narrator, at this point, just kind of radio for Skiff?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. You know what? I don't think my radio's working right now, so I'll just go find it myself. If Galen wants to come with, so we can. Do you want to discuss with him?
Might as well.
Okay. Narrator, before I go, I would like to see in this footage. There's only one Sawyer, right? In this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there might be more than one, but this is
Okay.
This is the ID badge, the visual, the voicemail are all from this Sawyer that you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess after what Galen said, it's like, well, now maybe he is. Maybe it's not the Sawyer I know. So it's gonna be real hard to trust people. I say this out loud, actually. It's gonna be hard to trust people. I'm already at a spot where I'm not very good at that, which is why I report everything. I cover my ass that way, Galen. I understand that you're working on instinct here, but I leave a trail. I leave a paper trail. I leave a log trail. I like recording and observing. I mean, that's helped me in the past. And I understand that we want to try and keep this between our squad right now, which is what we're doing. So I will do that with you. But there will come a time where I'm going to need to report this.
It's your life.
It is. It is. Are you done here? Would you like to look at findings?
Nothing
or
else
anything?
we're gonna find here now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
We're gonna
think
have to
so.
follow up on the Sawyer lead next.
Have you heard the name of Ari Trix before? That doesn't even sound like a real name to me, but I don't know where your instincts there.
Have I?
You can roll for it.
What would this be? Connections?
Yeah. You have not.
That's a crit.
I know. You have not.
I'm just letting everybody else know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for those listening, it was a 2. However, how would you like to spend the crit? Because you do get something extra.
I don't think I know. Doesn't sound familiar to me, Selma. I don't know anybody by that name. But GM,
Mm-hmm.
would I know somebody that might know this person?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I don't think so. It's, I think it's strange. I think you probably don't think it's a person. I think you probably think it's, sounds like, a place, a location, like a club name or something, or a restaurant, or, you know, it's a very strange name, if it belongs to somebody. I mean, maybe it's something used on the terminal, but unfortunately, it doesn't ring a bell for you, even with your crit. But I'll save it for later when something comes up that is related to this. I'll let it click for you. But for now, I'm just
Fair
going to
enough.
bank it. Yeah.
It doesn't sound familiar at all, Selma.
Okay. Well, that's probably another something we'd want to look into. I don't know if they exist or if it's some kind of message, but I'll probably keep that voicemail handy for whenever we need to reference it again. At this point, I can tell you that I don't trust Sawyer, which is what I'm wrestling with right now. So, shall we go meet up with Skiff? I feel like this is pretty...
Yeah, let's
important
catch him
stuff.
up.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave the room, go back up to the office area, or actually, yeah, I'll go back up to the office area, and then yeah, that's where I'll try and maybe radio in.
Whittaker to Kalispell. We're gonna be meeting up in the office in just a few short minutes. If you can join us there. Over.
Yeah, partner. I took my the piece of evidence you gave me. I brought it to the records room, and she's gonna take a minute to look at it. So we all went to Lil's, or me and Bob went to Lil's. If you guys want to join us.
All right. I think we'll make our way there then.
Did you just say that Bob is there?
Yeah, Bob's with me.
All right, let's go.
Be there in a few minutes. Over.
Okay.
Roger that.
All right. Well, Bob's up and walking around. That's good.
Yes
Shall
and
we?
no.
All right. I walk out of the room and prepare to go find some sort of vehicle that we can take some.
It's not too far to walk, actually.
Oh,
But which,
okay.
I mean, you
All
can
right.
take a vehicle if you want, if you feel safer doing so. Sometimes the streets are a little dangerous around the LAPD building. It's entirely up to you. But I believe, Skiff, did you say that Lil's was located on ground level or like near ground level? So like it's within walking distance? right?
Yeah, it's within,
Okay, yeah,
it's
yeah,
within
that's what
walking distance.
okay,
It's
that's
like
what I
three or four blocks away.
Yeah. So,
Oh, okay. So that's not bad at all.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah, so
you
I
guys
guess
will-
we'll just walk there. Sounds good to me.
There's a nostalgic charm of the Little Red Diner from an era several generations old. A burst of colors that defy the relentless gray of the cityscape. Neon signs buzz with life, casting a warm glow over the rows of polished chrome stools and red leather booths. The pie display, a kaleidoscope of flavor, tantalizes your eyes with its promise of indulgence. And the air is perfumed with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the scent of baked goods. The rich, buttery notes of pie crust linger, and the sound carries the lively buzz of conversation, rhythmic clinking of cutlery against plates, and the low hum of laughter and the occasional sizzle from the grill. Now, most of these restaurants in 2023 Blade Runner are located outside under an awning of some sort. So that is where we set the scene as you join your coworkers.
Hello, hello. How are we feeling? Bob? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right. Skiff House coffee tonight. This morning.
Not bad. Not bad.
All
I've had worse.
Motion to the waiter. Can let's just get a couple coffees over here, if we can.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you so much.
How many? All four?
I mean, I think Skiff
We
probably
already got
some.
ours.
Yeah,
Just
we'll
two-
take
Oh,
it
all right,
from
okay.
more. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
were you two sitting over there?
Oh, no, we just came in.
No, I mean these two, the other two that
Oh,
are
yeah,
joining
yeah.
you. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I'll
All right.
make sure that anything that you ordered goes over here to where you are now.
Oh,
Be right back.
okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So we found out some really interesting stuff. We just took a look at the footage from the day of, and doesn't really tell us too much other than that these replicants are obviously planning this well in advance. There's something going on here that didn't just happen on the day of. That bomb was not planted the day of. It was actually there much longer than we maybe knew.
No, wait. The bomb was already there.
It's already there.
All right.
I couldn't scrub back far enough to find out maybe when that would have happened, but what I do know is that I saw. You familiar with Sawyer? He used to be he used to want to do the analyst thing, and then he was about Blade Runner stuff. I'm not sure. Had a falling out with him a little bit, and then he left a voicemail a couple hours ago, and I gotta tell you, it sounded real weird. It sounded unlike him. And then we saw that he was actually on the footage. He was actually part of the the footage that I was scrubbing. So I found it to be very disconcerting, and I'm not sure what's going on here or why he would be even a part of this. But
Who was it, Selma?
his name was oh gosh. Well, I usually just call him Sawyer.
May I roll connections?
Yep. You absolutely may.
2 success.
Ooh. Oh, yep.
I don't know if I would actually.
No Sawyer?
No, I'm not gonna roll that.
Okay, well, his role can actually include the both of you, if you want.
No, I think
You don't deal
don't
with
think-
analysts very often.
no.
Ah, okay. Okay, that's fair. His name is Sawyer Clark. Sawyer is his first name. You were on a first name basis, but he is an officer with the LAPD. Well, officer is maybe a bit of a stretch. He really wanted to be a part of the Blade Runner unit, even working on the analyst side, kind of what Selma does now. But when he originally started working for the LAPD, it was in regards to the blackout and the massive loss of data, and he wanted to rebuild the database. Or at least he enthusiastically was helping rebuild the database with information, and then well, you got a 2, so I am going to give you this gift. I think you remember either passing by the office, a memory strikes you of him nervously wringing his hands, going into Gaff's office or Holden's office and preparing a presentation to basically pitch the algorithm to help you identify replicants faster or sooner or with better accuracy, or at least give you kind of like a good heads up while in the field. Now, maybe he asked you for help with this presentation. Maybe you saw him in the hallway and you said, what is going on? What are you so nervous about? And he told you. But you do know that he was not just working on rebuilding the database, but he was working on a very specific algorithm project that was his baby. It was his idea. He pitched it, and he was working on it pretty much solo.
So, Selma.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't know Sawyer all that well, but we've met. I know him, know of him. And you're saying that he helped with this? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm not sure. It certainly looked like that. It looked like he was trying to.
That's very strange. If he had any involvement in this bomb or whatever,
I don't know.
It seems strange because he was actively, while he was reconstructing the database, he had a little side project where he was actively making tech that would help us identify replicants. So it seems.
You know what? Let me just go ahead and I'm just going to pull out my voicemail here. I'm going to let you guys have another listen to this.
Okay.
Can narrator, is that
Absolutely.
okay? Can I show
Of
Bob
course
and
it is.
Skiff this?
Of course it is. You don't have to ask. It's what happened.
Okay. All right. I'm going to let you guys listen
though,
to this.
Are you just playing it in the middle of this diner?
Well, that's the thing. I feel like it's pretty noisy.
It is pretty noisy, and I do feel like it's, alt-world technology. We can get a little bendy with it and say that perhaps there's it's pretty good at doing maybe a cone around the KIA, but it's not going to broadcast it like a boombox or stereo.
I have a question, actually. Is there some kind of transcription that I can use with this where I can just play some kind of text to, speech to text rather?
Oh, okay, I have an idea. And I love it, and I'm gonna. Okay. What if you guys play it and it's scrambled to anybody who doesn't have your LAPD earpiece? So you guys can hear it, but anybody outside of the LAPD,
I think that would
earpiece
probably
would not be able to hear it. Okay.
I was also concerned about overhearing anybody that might be able to identify this. So yeah, I think that's a great idea if we can do that.
Okay. Cool. So we're gonna say that you don't always have this in. Or on, rather, this earpiece. So y'all probably take a second to pull that out. But I do want to make it clear that this is a public diner. So potentially, if there was another LAPD officer here that saw you lot together, all putting in your earpieces, they might also be able to listen in. So just throwing that out there. But I don't know if you want to do a scan roll and see if there's anybody nearby. But I'm just letting you know that the option is there. You can also roll for, so somebody roll observation and somebody roll stealth, please.
All right, I'll roll the observation here. Oh.
Ooh, okay. Okay. I think you probably do see a couple of other LAPD officers, but they don't seem to be paying attention to you. They don't notice you. You seem to be in the clear. You've got 2 that are enjoying their lunch. Some are probably enjoying some breakfast. This seems to be a spot that's pretty popular, probably because of the pie. But yeah, they don't seem to be paying attention to you at all.
All right. Okay.
I got a crit on the stealth.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's safe to say that you all feel very comfortable with this situation, in that you won't be accidentally overheard.
Okay. All right, well then I'm with that knowledge, I'm gonna go ahead and play the voicemail so these guys can take a listen.
Hey, Sal. Hi, Selma. Seems like I caught you at a bad time because you're not picking up, but you know that already because you're listening to this message, and yeah, look, I'd start this over if I could, but I can't, so I'm just gonna push through. I'm working on the predictive model, the algorithm, and I've made a couple breakthroughs, but I'm gonna stop wasting your time and just cut to the chase. I know that you're gonna have questions, but I can't answer any of them right now, not on this line, so focus up. I need you to look into a name for me. The name is Avari Trix. That is Avari, A-V-A-R-I, Trix, T-R-I-X-S. Previously listed as a vendor for Tyrell. Please don't ask me what they were vending. That's what I'm hoping you might figure out. If you're gonna ask why I don't do this myself, the short answer is I can't get to the office right now because I'm out in the field following up on another lead. Side note, please don't ask me why I'm in the field. Whatever you scrape on Avari, we will swap notes later via something more secure. You gotta trust me when I say this is important. LT asks, I'm hungover or I'm buried under a stack of data disks. I do not need a wellness check. Am I well? Check. I'm very well. Alright, that's my cue. I gotta go. Wish me luck.
I tell you, to me, this is like it doesn't feel like there's, it doesn't feel like him. He seems worried about something. But
I look over at Galen.
We got records. Sawyer being the last person in the evidence room before all this happened.
No, he was not the last person in the evidence room. But he clocked in about a week. It adds up to the footage, is what we were talking about. He's certainly not the last person. He last entered a week ago.
Okay.
And 3 weeks since he stopped coming to the office and checking his badge in every morning and every night.
Hasn't been clocking in for work. Been about 3 weeks. Something's up.
Coercion?
I don't know. But
Could be a sympathizer.
yeah, that really worries me.
Is that... I'm sorry, Selma. How well do you know him?
I mean, we worked together for a little bit. We had an assignment. And, it's kind of like one of those make or break things where, you know, we were part of it. We thought it was going to be like, oh, this is a real team effort, you know. And I think he might have admired me too. So I didn't want to I didn't want to let him down. But the problem was that he actually really screwed up. And, I included that in my report. And, I think he wanted to maybe not have that there, but
Who's Avari? Any of you know?
No idea.
nope.
Could be a
Nope.
place.
To me, it sounds
or a code
made
name.
up though. Yeah, it sounds like some kind of code name.
Should
But
I
I
roll on
assume-
that?
You can if
What's
you'd
that?
like.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm going to roll on that. Connections? Oh, I got a success.
I'll say sort of the same thing that I said to Galen. It doesn't strike you as a name you've heard of. It's probably the name of a location.
And what was the whole thing? The whole name?
Avari Trix.
Tricks. Yep.
Avari Tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Avari
So-
Tricks.
You know, he has that side project, and I think it's real interesting that he's all of a sudden working out in the field. But Maybe I should meet up with him. I mean, I haven't talked to him in a while, but maybe. I mean, what I'm thinking is, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about my level of trust with him right now. What if I were a liar?
We have that cipher?
It's, my copy is with Natalie over in records. She's
Should we
looking
run the
to see
name
if
through the cipher?
As far as I know, they're just symbols, right?
Yeah. I mean, they just don't seem to mean anything.
It would be Japanese hiragana, if you're familiar with that. I don't know if it's something that you pretty much just know, oh, that's a restaurant, and, you know, it's kind of a lot of the LA signage and things like that use either Japanese characters, Chinese characters, you know. So I don't know
Sawyer's
if you
an
would...
analyst,
Yeah.
like you, maybe that was code to look it up.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, can I punch it in right now? Can I maybe
Sure.
take
Absolutely.
a look?
Go
See if
ahead
I
and
can,
roll tech, and I would like any of you three that's not Selma to go ahead and that feels like you also roll me connections. Just one of you though, among the three of you. Galen, Skiff, and Bob. One of you choose to roll connections.
I'll do it.
Yep. Okay.
One success.
I'm going to start with Skiff, and then we'll switch to Selma here in a second. So Skiff,
Am I rolling for something? I'm sorry.
you are. You're
Okay.
rolling a tech roll because you're looking something up in the database, right?
Fantastic.
Perfect. Okay.
Disgusting.
So we're going to start. That was a 3, by the way, the major crit. And then Skiff rolled a 1, which is a success. So we'll start with
Okay.
Skiff. So Skiff, I think that you vaguely recall the event that Selma is referencing in regards to Sawyer and the thing maybe he didn't want anybody to know about. And I'm going to tell you a little bit, and then I'd like you to add something to the story. But what happened was he was working on his algorithm and made a call. So again, if you remember, analysts aren't just looking up data in the office. Analysts that want to work in the Blade Runner unit are relaying information to you sort of maybe live as quick as possible because you don't have access to the database anymore since the blackout. So essentially they're gathering as much information as they can behind the scenes, kind of like you're having Natalie do. And then you call in and check, or they tell you information like this person's known associates are here. They're likely to be here at this time, at this date, and they will be alone. Or they're 90% chance they're alone and they don't have anybody else. Well, Sawyer was using his algorithm and told a Blade Runner that at a certain location, the potential suspect was going to be alone. Well, they weren't. And Selma caught it. Selma caught the error at the last second and ended up running into the field with Sawyer to try to prevent this from happening. And I'm not going to reveal too much of what happened after that for Selma's sake, but there was one loss of life.
I'm sorry, I missed it. Try to prevent what from happening?
To try to prevent the accident or, you know, the retirement. He went to go retire a replicant that Sawyer said, according to his algorithm that wasn't finished yet, that he was going to be alone, but he wasn't. There were other replicants there, and there was a loss of life. But Selma caught the error and went with Sawyer. That's the case she's referencing. And I want to say that you know this because you looked at Selma's case or record history when you paired up with her, but I don't want to speak for you. So how do you know about this incident?
I want to say it's because she's my partner.
Yeah, and she told you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I wouldn't want to speak for her.
I probably would have, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if there's someone that I really I'm at odds with, Skiff's gonna hear about it, probably.
Okay. Yeah. So it's probably a situation of, hey, when we have analyst questions, let's avoid Sawyer because we kind of have an issue. Well, in that case, yes, the Blade Runner unfortunately lost his life, but Selma was able to retire the replicant in question by herself. And you would know that. Now, Selma, you rolled a 3, a critical success. What exactly were you putting into the mainframe?
Well, I was looking up Avari tricks.
Okay.
I was running it through, every possible search instance. So I thought maybe I could look at it as like part of some kind of algorithm, maybe some sort of anagram. I'm not sure if like rearranging the letters does something different, turns it into something else. That was one of my first instincts, was that it was code and not actually real, but I am looking up names, people, residents, places, street names even, maybe something that could resonate there.
Okay, I'm putting it through an anagram list option for you. You all have the ability to do that also.
Okay.
And anything that you find is stuff that will come up. Otherwise, I'm just going to put a screenshot in the Discord of what's available. So you absolutely do find that, obviously, because that's just something that your database would make available to you. But as for the name being searched or in reference or any connection to any other file or case, it comes up empty.
There's nothing?
Nothing. Not a thing.
Can you instead?
Yep.
Can we? Can we search all activity on Sawyer? Any logged, any recent activity?
Yes. Okay. I'm going to give that to you with your critical success, that this is all part of the scene.
Okay.
So as you are, you notice that there's nothing searching, no connection with this, this phrase or this name that you've pulled up. And I think when you start to look through Sawyer's logs, are you looking specifically at like what his search history was?
Search history, location. I'd like to know where he's been, if he has clocked any of that in. I mean, I know that some of it's off the clock. A lot of it recently is, but I need to know where he was before this suddenly started becoming a common occurrence for him to not log where he is.
Yeah, okay. So something you probably know about Sawyer is that, he never styles his hair the same way twice, if you could even call it styling, right? Because he's just at the office, he's working hard, he's probably there late. There have been times where you walked in and went, are you here early or late? He's just one of those people that will almost work himself to death. And he preferred to work in the office because obviously he's rebuilding a database. So any physical files you guys have is pertinent to what he's doing. So it doesn't really make sense for him to be working on the database rebuild outside of the office. And when you look at his history, all of that rings true to you, as you can see, like, oh, yep, there he is. He's clocking out late that day, but then he comes in a couple hours later, whatever. Then 3 weeks ago, he stops clocking in altogether. However, there is updates to the database where he's been uploading his work, because this is how you function as well. You Blade Runners, you choose what information from your case you upload to the mainframe. So this isn't unusual. But what is unusual is that it's at 7 p.m. every single night. It seems to be that he is doing work and then automating the upload of work, potentially while he's doing something else. But it is the perfect amount of work. It goes
from like erratic to suddenly, this has got to be like on time.
So
it looks like
at 7 p.m. every single night, and it's probably even the same amount. Actually, Sawyer's pretty smart. It's variation between, how many lines of code he's uploading, but it's enough that people won't look. But he also knows you're smart. And I think with your 3, I'm going to give you this, that if you look, he wasn't hiding this from you. He's hiding it from anybody at the office who maybe might be giving him a hard time. But he knows you're smart enough to pick up on this. So, and he's smart enough to hide it if he wanted to. So he's clearly not trying that hard to hide it from other people in the department. Just maybe his boss.
Is there any way to see what he's been uploading?
Yeah, it's yes. It's lines of code for the database rebuilds. With your 3, I'm going to say that, and you're an analyst and you've done your fair bit, so I think you're probably scanning the lines of code and you can see, it's got like div tables and stuff like that, and basically names, so you can pick out things you recognize, like names, locations, aliases, and stuff like that. It seems to be going in alphabetical order, so he's just working his way through. There's nothing really that stands out to you in terms of what he's uploading. It seems to be normal. He's just trying to get the database rebuilt. However, you do notice that the last thing that he was working on before 3 weeks ago was rebuilding Tyrell Corporation's database. That's where he was right before all this shit started going down. And by shit going down, I mean 3 weeks ago when he stopped logging in.
Well, from what I'm understanding, he was working with Tyrell and then nothing. The
message said that Avari was a possible vendor.
Right.
That Tyrell worked with. Vendor of what?
Vendor of what? Yeah, again, I'm thinking maybe I should have a conversation with him. But, I would be willing to have a wire.
Anybody else, anybody at this table have any dealings with Tyrell ever?
Ooh, that is a great question. I would love to know the answer to this.
I have not. I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I have.
Ooh, okay. And what do you know about the Tyrell Corporation?
Not a lot. I've tried to find various information in regards to some of their pleasure models working on Vice.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's another thing, actually, that I'd like to bring up. That's something that is being contested right now. Some people are fighting back on the pleasure models being retired as well. There's no definitive. As of right now, the Prohibition Act says all and any, but there is a little bit of kickback right now where that might be slightly appealed so that the pleasure models are not taken out. However, if they're still in connection to the underground, then they would go, pleasure model or not.
I got a question for you all. And let me see if I can set this up so it makes sense. There were 2 replicants on the slab down there. There was a 3rd in that room. This is after we chased one and I winged him. And we were going to be heading to the, what was the name of that place? Electric something.
Dreams.
I feel like we should follow up on that because that's an interesting connection, and considering what we just dealt with, I don't know. Well, maybe we can get some answers there. And I agree with you that you should probably talk to Sawyer or set something up, but I don't want you doing that by yourself. This is, whoever he is, it's very much an unknown entity at this point.
Feels dangerous.
Yeah.
It feels dangerous. I mean, immediately seeing him on the footers like that set me off. And I'm sure it did for you too, Galen. I'm not speaking for you, but I'm guessing it probably didn't look like he was up to any good. So, yeah, that scares me. It worries me. I'm worried for him.
What are we thinking we'll do first?
Well, we got a few leads. Let's break them down. Okay. First, we've got the obvious Sawyer lead. Second, we've got this name, Avari Tricks. In my opinion, I think we should investigate those separately.
Separately?
Yeah. We gotta find out what we can about Avari Tricks before we talk to Sawyer.
Whatever we find out, it's gonna have to be off the record. I mean, I just looked up and got nothing.
Well, if it has anything to do with Tyrell, I'm not surprised.
Right.
Well, it's all the same to y'all. I'll, as soon as I get anything from, Natalie over in Records, I'm not optimistic, so saying she doesn't have anything, I'll make my way to Electric Dream, see what they got. Scout it out, give it a look, maybe, give myself a shave and a haircut, maybe get a new outfit, so I don't stand out. If any of you guys want to come with me, I'd welcome the company, but if you don't, I understand.
You all understand what this could mean, right? That we have a very strong possibility of having replicant sympathizers in our precinct.
Or just replicants themselves.
That's an
Not even
extra scary
sympathizers.
thought.
I fully believe that there's probably some kind of replicant walking around headquarters right now. And that's what really concerns me about Sawyer, is that now I'm wondering if I even know this man. Or ever knew him.
That sounds really difficult. If there's sympathizers, I can understand. But an actual replicant,
I don't know.
how do you even do that? How do you make that natural? How do you get them in there, make them a part of the workforce, and then not feel what transfers? I mean, even
All right.
it seems less likely, but I'm not saying you're wrong.
Well, I think I'm gonna need to do some more digging on the records that we have right now, because I think we're missing some key information here. I mean, even just scrubbing through that footage told me more than I had bargained for. So I don't know. I want to talk to Sawyer. I want to do some maybe investigating that way, and but maybe I need more information first before I go to him. So Skiff, I'll come with you if you don't mind the company.
We're gonna also have to report into the Holden soon too.
Right.
You got a dress?
What now? What'd you say?
Said you got a dress? Or at least something that passes for that? It's a nice place we're going to. We want to go in as cops, or we want to go in as guests?
Probably better to go in as guests. I don't want to mess anybody's time. Mess with anybody's time. Yeah, I got a dress. I can throw it on.
All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I made a promise of some apple pie, and I need sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate y'all taking the time to meet me at headquarters for this. I feel, I know it's real late, real early. Bob, I'm glad you're out of the hospital. I'm glad you're feeling better. But I think you especially would need the rest here.
I'll be up for a little bit longer.
Probably a good idea.
Well, all right. I suppose then that's all I have for now. I don't know if I'll be able to rest when I get home, but I'm gonna keep at this. What do you say tomorrow we talk to Holden?
Yeah, I think I'd be fine. I'm gonna float this, and at this point I'm looking at Galen. Do we not mention the Tyrell? Like, if there are sympathizers or replicants, we don't know who can hear what.
No.
So what do we say? What do we present? What do we not say? We just give everything? I don't usually work this way, so I'm not sure.
Well, I think, Bob, the truth of it is that headquarters has been breached. I mean, obviously, that much we know is true. Someone has let in those replicants. Whether or not they are a replicant themselves, that much I don't know. But our home has been infiltrated, and again, that scares me. I'm not sure how to approach this, but I say we log our findings individually, because at this moment, if we are looking at it from this could be anybody in headquarters, then we really need to back up our information. We need to make sure that we get things in now. I don't know, talking to Holden might just make it worse. Now that I think about it, it might just be, if we say, well, this has been breached, for all we know, we're the only ones that know about it. I mean, Mildred was... Oh, God, the footage. I mean, it was just so quick. Her neck just was like nothing, like a twig.
In answer to your question, just be really cautious who you talk to and who you divulge information to. In my experience, if people have a story to tell, they want to tell it. You should let them.
I think what that means is just let people talk. We can meet with Holden and see what Holden says. We give up what we have to give up.
You know what? I can assure you that if I go to Holden, I don't know if I can trust myself or my anxiety enough about the situation and not tell him everything. Galen, I know that you were doubtful about this, about bringing it up. I don't want to put the sole responsibility solely on you, but maybe it'd be more comfortable if you were the one to tell him what's going on.
Oh, he can handle it.
I can handle it.
Okay. Should we go as a squad, or should we? I'll do whatever's comfortable there.
We're gonna all have to go. Anything else you want to tell them?
Nothing I can think of right now. There's a lot more I need to dig into. There's a lot more logs that I just don't think I've seen or am able to see at this point.
Okay. And let's get some sleep. Report in tomorrow.
All right.
And we'll check out these leads.
I'll put on my nice dress.
Oh, you got more than one. We've been working together a long time, and I haven't seen one.
Oh,
let
they're
alone a
dusty.
couple.
They're dusty. They're back there.
Can you cut a rug? I guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out, won't we? Ooh, I'm loopy.
All right. This actually would end. It would be 5 hours from when this event, everything kicked off, to right about now, which would technically end a shift. And so that would be our first time entering the shift mechanic. So in this game, time matters. What you choose to do during your shift or during the time is going to pass. And if you don't solve certain things, other things may happen. You know, if you don't get the right information in the right amount of time, things continue on without you. It's really fucking cool. However, what you do in your downtime off of your shift also matters. So, have you been tracking on your shift card, which is in your character sheet, what you've been doing this shift? We're going to say it's a night shift. Because you went from 11 p.m. to about, probably around 5 a.m. right now? So I was generally keeping track for you, but starting now, you guys will go ahead and keep track. So I think it's safe to say that unless you want to change it, right now you've worked a night shift. So do you want to sleep a full night and then begin your next night shift? Or do you want to sleep less and start at a different time? The reason I ask you that is because certain people or NPCs are actually time locked. They are there on certain shifts. Certain things are open during certain time periods. So you have to be very clever and careful with how you choose to spend your time. I love it.
Yeah. I'm not sure Selma could sleep a full night. I think she sleeps maybe 4 hours tops.
All right.
I think that I would confer with Galen, but since they're going to be doing the Electric Dreams nightclub, I'm assuming they're going to be at nighttime. If we try to look at the Tyrell Corporation, then there's a daytime sort of element to that.
Yeah.
During working
We have
hours,
to
if we're going in like that.
Yep.
Does that make sense, Galen? Would you, or do you see it differently?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Okay.
So there's morning, day, evening, night. And obviously you guys worked through the night on a night shift just now. So do you want to hit Tyrell, Mastiff, do you want to hit Tyrell in the morning or day?
Day.
Day.
I agree.
Okay.
Bob's got to get some sleep.
Bob can't sleep. He's got a concussion. I mean, you could try to sleep, but he really shouldn't for the next little while. Unless you
But I
want
do
to,
need
Bob.
rest.
Sorry, I shouldn't have
No,
spoke
I'm not-
for you.
No. That's more than fine. And I would assume that Galen, I don't know. How much have you assessed from Bob? Just sitting here.
The fact that you're not in the hospital right now means that I'm following you wherever you go.
So, I think that I know that I need a little bit of time to rest.
Yeah.
Maybe not sleep, but rest. So I absolutely agree with the daytime.
Okay.
You know,
And that'll give you guys time to think about anything. What about Team Crane?
Oh,
I
leave
was
that
fully
one up to
planning on-
Kalispell.
I was fully planning on going to bed.
Bed,
Oh, me
and
too.
then will you wake up in time for an evening shift or just another night shift, do you think?
Each shift is 6 hours, by the way.
Approximately, yes. It's GM
I'm
can
not sure
wiggle
we
it.
wake up at, I don't know if we wake up at the same time. I'd probably wake up around evening
So a
shift.
shift doesn't entail like necessarily going into the office, right?
Nope. It's just when you're on the clock working. It's basically so that I can track what's happening out like during your shift and make the puzzle, for you to solve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But there
I
are
mean,
elements in each shift, by the way.
If that's the case, then I would definitely I have some prep work to do before we go to the
Yeah.
Electric Dreams,
Okay.
i.e. I need an outfit and I need to look the part.
So probably My suggestion then would be that you guys wake up for a night shift then, which is, midnight to 5 a.m. or whatever you kind of did tonight, which is 11 p.m. To 5 a.m. And then if you wake up, in the late evening, you can still have time to go get the things that you need. But your shift period will actually be night. So we've got day and a night shift. So we're splitting the party, which is encouraged in this system. Perfect. Okay, now, before we do that, you wanted to talk to Nat, right? I need you to make me a roll. I need Selma to go ahead and roll me tech at disadvantage, please. Okay. Fuck me, I guess. All right, you're going back there this evening, Skiff? Yeah, dude, it was a 3, by the way, for those listening.
I want to point it out for PB that it's 3 3s.
Okay, yeah, thank you. You're pointing that out because I'll give you more information.
Yeah, I'm going back tonight. I bring her, like she said, she said it was only going to be an hour, and I bring her a piece of pie, like I said.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else regarding the shifts before we slide back into maybe our final moment of roleplay for the evening?
I don't.
Okay. Perfect.
I don't think I do either.
Okay. Then Skiff, you return with a piece of pie. Office. Nat is working diligently. Oh, let's do this.
I placed the go box of pie. I put it on her desk with a little plastic fork on the top.
I don't even look at you. I reach over and I pull the pie towards me. I open it. Is there a fork? Maybe I stumble around for some sort of utensil.
If you open it without looking, the fork goes on the floor because I put it on the top.
Yep. Okay. Then the fork skitters onto the floor, and I look over at the pie and go, oh, shit. And I look up at you, but I don't ask you. But I look at you like, do you think you could pick up this fork for me? I am fully intending to
absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
wonderful.
I go bend down and pick it up, and I point, once she opens the box, I grab the fork, and I point at something in the box. Mm-hmm. There is a slice of American cheese next to the apple pie.
Whoa.
And I say, it's not on the pie, just in case you didn't want it, but I point at the slice of cheese, and I say, do yourself a favor. Put it in the microwave for 10, 12 seconds with that piece of cheese on it. Guarantee you'll never have it any other way.
Oh, I hesitate for a second. I'm considering what you're saying. I'm also considering if I want to be rude, but I'm very hungry because I haven't eaten. I skipped my lunch for this. I take the fork.
And I see her like computing this in her head, and I go, or you could just eat the pie and the cheese separately. It's fine.
She immediately, as soon as you give me permission, I just dip my fork into the pie and I start eating the pie as I'm looking at the screen here. Okay, so I looked through. Excuse me, I am talking with my mouth full, but I'm not going to do that for all of you listening. But staring at the screen, and I say, okay, so I looked at everything. Now, this is what's very strange is, wait, hold on, before I continue. Remind me again what you specifically asked for from her.
I asked for what case this cipher, if any, relates to.
Okay. And that was it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. So I didn't find any particular case or cipher or anything like that, but I did find some initial information on ciphers here and how to create them. This may be a traditional one letter or one character replaces one letter. There are various types of ciphers. I printed out some information for you so you can look it over and try to figure it out. I will continue looking at it as well. But as for what it's related to, nothing. But guess what? And I look at you expectantly. I'm very pleased with myself.
I let her sit there for a second as if I don't know what's going on.
Okay, well,
And I go, yes.
okay, and I happily like hit very dramatically a button on the keyboard, and up on the screen shows what looks to be a printing history. I found the exact day and time and from what terminal this memo was printed. It looks like it
And?
is an internal memo. It's not related to a case necessarily, or if it is, it's looks like maybe it was being added to the database. But it's really weird because it wasn't added to the database. Considering this was printed about 4 weeks ago, maybe 3.5 weeks ago. But it's from the detective clerk, works in the analytic department. But it's an internal memo, actually. It doesn't look like it was printed from his printer.
You told me that these symbols on here were hiragana.
Yes, that's right. But it's so weird. I tried to check and see, like, I tried to do an initial pass of what it could mean, but it made no sense. It's not actually...
They're made up of
language.
syllables, right?
Phonetic, yes. Phonetics. Sounds.
I write down Amari Trixis on a piece of paper, and I show it to her. Can you make a hiragane with this? Like, can you make a phrase or something like that? Or point out, are there any symbols that match this in there?
Yes,
or
I could.
syllables?
I could do this for you. Based on sound, but not actual translation, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I can do that for you. And go ahead and begin to, like, pull out a notebook, and I'm scribbling. Probably a long time ago, I would have strictly used my terminal on the computer, but ever since the blackout, I think people are paranoid and always write a physical copy first before. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm maybe working around a bit. I pause for a second to look things up. Now, you did roll a 3, which is a critical success. So I can give this to you, but I also can give you one other thing. So what would you like to ask me? I'm still eating, by the way, and it's apish. I grab the cheese. I'm eating the cheese just like as is, separately, in between maybe the bites of the pie.
My original question was, does this name or title or whatever, Amari Trixis, is there any sort of relationship that you can see between these hiragane and that?
Well, I can try to translate it for you, but you know Strix is the scientific name for an owl, right?
I'm sorry?
Strix, sorry, my mouth is full. Strix, it might be an anagram. Strix is a scientific name for owl.
With that information, I take Strix out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
And I look. Hold on, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
AM. Oops,
And that was your third success, by the way.
So, Strix
Mm-hmm.
would use up the entire letters of the second word, right? STRIX.
Yes.
So, Avari.
So you'd have to work on that one, but it doesn't ring a bell for me, unfortunately. And here I have this rough sort of translation for you, but again, it's based on phonetics, I guess. It's not actually a direct translation, so it doesn't make sense. But here's what I have, potentially, maybe. And I hand you like I rip out of my notebook. It probably has some sort of pie or something smushed on it. And I hand that to you, which I will also give you in the Discord here in just a second. But I need time to sit down and write it out because it's a real thing that she hands you. What are you thinking, detective?
Well, I thought I was waiting for something.
Oh, no.
I mean, oh.
You were looking something out of an equation,
Well,
potentially?
if Strix is the scientific name for owls, Avari should be something else as well. Probably some sort of descriptor, an adjective, like golden owl or something of that nature. Is there anything that you can come up with those letters, A-V-A-R-I?
No, I tried, but it didn't make sense to me, which is why I wasn't sure if it was worth mentioning or not. Apologies.
So, all this information that Natalie has given me,
Yes.
did she give it to me like in a printout?
She ripped out a page of her notebook, so it's in her scrawl.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
And then she
my
did
brain is
provide-
about on empty.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put it in my pocket. I'm going to I'll just do it then. I put it in my pocket. Thanks, Natalie.
Oh, you're welcome.
And,
Thank you for the pie. It's very good. You're right.
If you need some more, it's just Lil's, just a couple of blocks northeast of here.
Oh. I nod, clearly not going to get up from my desk. I don't go too far. I probably only go to the vending machines and then go back to work.
And I owe you one.
Oh, no. The pie was good. Thank you, detective. Good luck.
Thank you. I walk out. I walk outside. I'm about to head home. My shift is done. I light up a cigarette. Take a drag. And no one sees this except for Skiff. There's a man in a stereotypical like detective trench coat and fedora. And Skiff turns to look at him. He says, "Well, Lake, looks like we got a doozy on our hands. Any advice?"